So we cover a variety of stories here at Bolsover TV, but I feel like this one has probably piqued my attention more than most. I got told that we were coming to find out about how crisp packets can turn into blankets. And it's an initiative set up by Deb and her husband Simon, and it's taking place down here at Holy Trinity Church. And thankfully, Deb is here alongside me to tell us all about it. Deb, you're busy, very hard at work.
Yes.
With more crisp packets than I think I've ever seen before. Tell us about what we can see in front of us.
Well, these are these are all donated packets from the community. So we put shout out on our Facebook page, Crisp Packet Project Shirebrook, and they bring their crisp packets to us every Tuesday between 10:30 and 2:30. We ask for them to be washed and cut so that it saves us the time to do that, so we can concentrate on making the blankets. And as you can see, we have hundreds. So these all get sorted by our lovely volunteers into brands and packet sizes, because they all need to be of a similar size for the blanket to work, really. So yeah, this is the sort of first step of, once they're washed and cut, we like them to be sort of given to us like open like a book, so that they stay nice and flat, so they're easier to iron. And that is basically the first sort of process. So once they're sorted out, we then go into the main hall and iron them into the strips.
So we'll follow you through. And you're a woman who is very keen on them being colour coordinated. That's right, isn't it?
I mean, I do like a colour coordination.
You're a woman of order, right?
Yes, I am, yeah. I like things to be in order. We do have a couple of volunteers who will just, iron in any order, upside down, which is fine. I just don't look at those.
But there actually does need to be a point of the same size and the same width, because that's how the blankets come together.
Yeah. I mean, if you've got 25 gram packets with 13 gram packets, you're going to have a very odd sized blanket.
Crisp packets into a blanket is not something you hear every day. No. So how did that come together, and how did that come about?
Well, it's a lady in Hastings called Pen. She runs the main crisp packet project down there, and she has lots of lovely volunteers that help her to make all the blankets. She volunteers for Surviving the Streets UK. She was out with them, giving them out blankets and sleeping bags to the homeless, but then they get wet, they get heavy. They don't want to carry them around with them, because they basically carry their lives with them, so they need everything to be light and compact as possible. And Penn came up with this wonderful idea of turning crisp packets into survival items. So that is basically how the Crisp Packet Project was born. It's just amazing that these little things actually keep somebody warm and dry. And you don't really realise, when you're having a packet of crisps, you don't really think about what's going to happen to it, But now, our community, Shirebrook community, is, they're sort of all on board.
We will come on to the success of it. Hopefully the iron has heated up a bit.
Let's have a look. So you need to basically make sure that the top line is sort of straight. So you have to line up either the top or the bottom of the packet. And then...
just like that.
There you go.
And there are set numbers as well, aren't there? You were saying it's...
Yes, so it's 5 packets in a row. And we use 15 rows and to make a survival blanket. And so that's 75 packets that it takes to make one survival blanket. We started off doing it at home, just with an iron and an ironing board. But, it wasn't very feasible, because the packets sort of, once they go over the ironing board, they weren't really sticking together. So then I contacted Karen, who's the Reverend here, who I'd met previously on a litter pick. She said, you know, you can use the hall, so I contacted her and said, can we take you up on the offer? And so here we are in this lovely, you know, space that we have, and she lets us use it every week.
And in my best sort of Blue Peter moment, here's one I made earlier. So this is husband Simon hard at work, is it?
This is Simon. So he's basically made his blanket, and he's now ironing. He's ironed the plastic onto both sides. And he's just cutting the plastic down to size because we don't want all of this extra on there. And then he will just go over it and check it that it's all, you know, any bits that, like that, need to be re-ironed. He'll just make sure that it's all sealed, it's all waterproof. Once that's done, then we write messages, just because, you know, I just think it's really nice that they know that we care about them, that we've made this especially for them. So we've got Made Just For You, Made With Love from the Crisp Packet Project Shirebrook, made especially for you to keep you warm and dry, keep warm.
And where do these go now? So you've got a complete one here. What happens next?
So next, these ones will go probably to Gears of Goodwill. They're in Derby. They also go to the Christian Centre, which is local to us, Hope House in Worksop, Bridge Street Soup Kitchen in Mansfield. We've donated to them as well in the past. To get it to the levels that we want to get it to, we really need more people to come and help us to make the blankets, because, you know, usually it's the two of us and we can only make so many. So to get people's support to actually come and visit us here and help us, like Anne has. You know, it's Anne's first time here. She's doing a fantastic job, making her first ever blanket. We need people really here to help us making the blankets.
Absolutely. For you personally, this feels like more than a passion project. It feels like something you really want to do and help. Why is that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love helping people. I like to be involved in the community, and, you know, it gives me a purpose. I have in the past suffered with my mental health, and this, especially with lockdown and everything, and I know that everybody has suffered, but it gives me a purpose. You know, I'm doing something that I know is going to help less fortunate people than myself. And when we get the feedback sent to us that our blankets are amazing and that they've kept a person warm and they've kept them dry, you just get all kinds of emotion, because you're really happy that you're doing something that you know is helping those less fortunate. But also, in this day and age, there shouldn't be those people, you know, that need our help.
If people want to get involved, or if they want to know more, what's the best place to go to?
I mean, the best place to go to is our Facebook page, which is Crisp Packet Project Shirebrook. Or they can send me a private message, Deb Booth, private message on Facebook. Just, you know, please get involved, come and help us. We actually do have donuts today for
where can I sign up?
You know, there are occasionally little treats that can be had, but yeah, come down, give it a go. You know, if it's not for you, then fine, but it's just something you're helping others. You're giving up your time to help other people, and that really is what it's all about.
Absolutely. I couldn't have summed it up any better myself. Congratulations. It's wonderful work. It's an incredible product that we just don't realise. And I'll never look at a crisp packet the same way again.